Hey learners, welcome to the Family Law Part 2. We finished looking at the subtopics that we left in the previous video. We are still looking at the elements of family law. Now we are going to deal with divorce, maintenance of spouse and children within and after marriage, custody of children after dissolution of marriage, adoption of children, property settlement, and the victim support unit. Okay. So we start with divorce. This is very common. It's something common. Divorce is simply the dissolution of marriage after satisfaction by the court of law. There is a condition here saying there should be a satisfaction by the court of law. So that means you cannot just divorce on your own by yourself. Say no, as a couple, you have decided to divorce. But there should be a satisfaction by the court of law. That one is illegal where you do it on your own. So there is one ground for divorce. This phrase, marriage has been broken down irretrievably. This simply means marriage can never be redeemed or saved. That's when there can be a divorce. That's where there can be a divorce. Now, there are two types of marriage recognized under the law of Samuel. So let us talk about divorce in customary marriage. Divorce in customary marriage. Here are some of the causes for divorce in customary marriage. 1, adultery of the wife. Here is something interesting, When the husband commits adultery, it's rare for the couple to divorce. But immediately the wife commits adultery, it's something else. Cruelty of any party. Cruelty. This is gender-based violence. You always beat your wife, you always beat your husband. This may lead to divorce. Laziness of the wife. Under customary marriage, as a wife, if you are lazy, you'll be divorced. You don't work in the fields, you'll be divorced. That's under customary marriage. Bad relations with the in-laws. We know to say the in-laws, or let me say the brothers and the sisters in-laws, have got that trait of joking, making funny things, but do you take it for granted? If you do that, that may lead to divorce. Lack of maintenance by the man. As a man, if you're not able to provide the material requirements for the couple, for the family, in customary marriage, you will definitely be divorced. No, he doesn't provide anything. So under customary marriage, you'll be divorced as a man. That's how it is. So apart from that, we'll talk about divorce under statutory marriage. Divorce under what? Statutory marriage. Here there is only one ground, or one main reason, that is when marriage has been broken down irretrievably. Marriage is no longer able to be redeemed or saved. The causes: 1, adultery proved by the third party, known and named. That means at least the witness caught them in the act of doing sexual intercourse, or that person must provide enough evidence to show that truly these people had sexual intercourse. That's adultery. Unreasonable behavior by a spouse, cruelty or gender-based violence. So even in statutory marriage, cruelty leads to divorce. Living apart for a continuous period of 5 years, this will lead to divorce. Separation for 2 years with couple's consent. As a couple to say, okay, we are on separation, but if it's just for 2 years or more, the court will not consider that one as a marriage. Will not consider that one to be a marriage. So now, how do you divorce under statutory marriage? You don't just wake up, no, today I want to divorce my husband. No, it's not like that under statutory marriage. First of all, there is a divorce application which must be filled in the High Court. A divorce application which must be filled in the High Court. After you fill that form, the High Court will issue a temporal divorce certificate. the High Court will issue a temporary divorce certificate to the couple. This temporary divorce certificate is known as decree nisi. Decree what? Decree nisi. A very interesting name there. This decree nisi only lasts for 6 weeks. That means the couple will be given 6 weeks to rethink about their decision. If they fail to reconcile within 6 weeks, the court will issue a permanent divorce certificate, that is a decree absolute. So after this one has been issued, even if you think of coming back into marriage, the court will not agree. The court will never be involved in your marriage because they have already issued a what? A decree absolute. Are we together? That's divorce under what? Statutory marriage. Divorce under statutory marriage. Another element of family law is the maintenance of spouse and children within and after marriage. We start with the maintenance of the spouse. Both within and after divorce, a spouse has a duty to maintain his or her life partner. Are we together? Both within and after divorce, whether you have divorced, you have a duty to maintain your husband or your wife. Under customary marriage, you are required to maintain your partner for 3 years or until he or she remarries again, which happens earlier. Until he or she remarries again, that's when you'll be relieved of your duty. But in cases where that person does not get married again, you should maintain him or her for 3 years. Are we together? For 3 years. So if you have divorced and it's not yet 3 years, you don't maintain your wife or your husband, please start maintaining him or her. That's according to the customary marriage. If you used customary marriage, okay, it's just a commercial break. We go to children. The maintenance of the children after, or let me say within and after marriage. The Cap 64 of the revised laws of Zambia says the children born out of wedlock should claim maintenance from the father. Should claim what? Maintenance from the father. Now, how do they claim? What kind of people are allowed to claim maintenance from the father? A child, him or herself, can claim for maintenance from the father. A guardian, for example, a grandparent or an uncle, can claim maintenance on behalf of the child. A single woman from the affiliated father of the child can also claim for what? For maintenance. Then a spouse from his or her partner, whether divorced or not, should claim for maintenance. If you want to claim for maintenance, you can approach the clerk at the nearest local court or lawyer. You can go to a court or you see a lawyer. Say, we want to claim for maintenance on behalf of this child. The court will simply do their job. That's about the maintenance of the what? The spouse and the children within and after marriage. Custody of children after divorce. Where do the children go after you divorce as parents? This depends on years. Depends on what? Years. A child is a person below the age of 18. That's a child. So children below the age of 18 considered to be young. The mother provides custody. The father provides what? Maintenance. These children will go with the mother, but the father will be required to provide maintenance. That's how it is. We move on to the adoption of children. Under the Children Act, Chapter 136 of the 1948 edition of the Laws of Zambia, the courts are given power to grant order to adults requesting to adopt a child. Adults who cannot bear a child, they have no opportunity of having any child, they are able to adopt. They are allowed. Now, there are categories of people allowed to do that. One, a couple wanting to adopt an infant. An infant is a person below the age of 7. Person below 7 years. That's called an infant. A mother or a father of the child jointly with the other spouse. It's like you are the mother. Now, before you got married to the current husband, you had another child from somewhere. Now you want to adopt him or her officially into your marriage to be called your son by both of you. So that is also called adoption. Then a person who has reached the age of 21 years and is a relative of the infant, you can adopt that child. Apart from the adoption of children, we have property settlement. How do you share the property after divorce? Under customary marriage, the woman gets some of the compensation so as to allow her to start afresh. Be given some compensation. But under civil marriage, the property will be shared by the deputy registrar's office. You go to court and then they'll share your property. In cases whereby only one spouse worked and brought all the earnings into the couple or into the marriage, then that one who remained or who stayed at home will get a third of the total earnings. Will get a what? A third. But in a case where both spouses were working and earned the earnings together, the court shares them on a 50-50 basis. It's 50-50, they just divide by 2. That's how they share. That's what we call property what? Settlement. That. The victim support unit. The victim support unit, simply a unit that was created by Police Amendment Act number 14 of 1999, charged with responsibilities such as 1. Domestic violence, 2. Occasioning bodily harm. 3. Arson. Let me explain on this one. Arson is simply deliberately setting fire on a property. People are sleeping, then you set fire on the house. They dying inside there just because of fire. That's called what? Arson. Property grabbing. Incest, having sexual intercourse with your relative. Sodomy is simply anal sexual intercourse. That is a criminal offense dealt with by the what? By the victim support unity. These are the elements of family law. Make sure you are able to cite, you are able to explain about 5 or just 6. That's the end of the topic family law. Make sure you study more and more. You research more and more so that you know many things about this topic.